Hello, teachers. How are you? My name is Tanya from TanyaTeacherTraining.com, and today we are going to be talking about teaching grammar in an engaging way, as opposed to teaching grammar with pain and like students normally know the study of grammar. Okay. First of all, I want to show you what a boring class looks like. Okay, so pay attention. Good morning, class. Today we are going to see present simple. Present simple. Present simple expresses routines, okay? And we only need the subject, then the verb. The verb, remember, for he, she, and it, we're going to use an S, then the complement, and finally time expression. For example, my brothers play tennis on Sundays. Or my mom cooks dinner every day. Okay? My first question here is, why do students hate grammar? Well, you just saw it. It's not that we don't need grammar, it's the way that it is introduced to students. Okay? Because the second question is, well, should we ban the study of grammar or not? Remember that students need three things in order to learn a language: interaction, exposure to the language, and focusing on form. Focusing on form means spelling, punctuation, grammar, vocabulary, accuracy about vocabulary, and all those things. Okay, so there's no way we can escape from grammar, but it's not that we should ban grammar for life. It's that we need to present it or introduce it in a more interesting way. Okay, so here are 5 tips for you when you are teaching grammar. The first step, we need to engage our students since the moment we arrive in the classroom. Okay, because remember, our students are not ready to begin the lesson, they are not ready to pay attention to you if you haven't done the warm-up or lead-in first. Okay, remember the difference between a warm-up and a lead-in. The warm-up can be any engaging activity, or like a 5-minute activity where students can do a riddle, a tongue twister, for example, a really fast crossword puzzle, something like that. Okay, and the lead-in is a fun activity or an engaging activity, again 5 minutes only. Okay, but your activity is related to what you will be teaching. That's what we call the TL, or target language. Okay, so you need to have a good warm-up or a good leading. That's the first thing. Okay, now the second tip, when you are teaching grammar, when you're about to teach grammar, you need to contextualize the grammar point. It's not only today we're going to say simple past. That's out of context. Okay, you need to look for a context where the TL can be used many times. For example, here you see an athlete. What grammar point do you think that can be used with this picture or with this context? Maybe can. I like this picture for can and can't. If we talk about athletes, we can talk about what they can do and what they cannot do. Okay, because the skill for a tennis player is not the same as the skill or skills that are required for a football player. Okay, so what can the football player do that the gymnast cannot do or the tennis player cannot do? We talk about abilities. So point number 1, we contextualize when we start teaching grammar, okay? And we have here another lady who looks upset, so she probably needs some advice. I like this picture and this context for advice. If she broke up with her boyfriend, well, we can use many examples with should. You should go out, or you should take up a sport. Maybe you should try to talk to your ex-boyfriend and see if things can work out, things like that. Okay, so I need to find a context where my students can use the TL a lot. Here I have like tons of examples or ideas with can and can't. And here a lot of samples with should. Try to think of these other pictures. The detective. Maybe for this picture we can use must, because he's trying to investigate what happened. There was a crime. Well, maybe the owner of the house who was killed or who was kidnapped, well, she must have left the door open, okay? Or she must have had the wrong friends, okay? Things like that. So think about a context where you can use the grammar point a lot, where your students will have many opportunities to use a lot of examples, okay? That's the first thing. Step number 3, okay? We need to have our students discover the TL, the use and the structure, okay? Because they need to learn to put words together. That's what grammar is about. Put words in the right order so it makes meaning. It makes sense. Sorry. Okay, so here we have the example of a car crash. How can I use a car crash to teach TL, to teach grammar? Well, I know. I can use the third conditional. Remember, past unreal. And I look at this picture and I think, well, if the driver hadn't been careless, he wouldn't have crashed. And you have some examples here. If he hadn't drunk so much beer, he would not have crashed. If he had been careful, he could have avoided the crash. Okay? So once you have your context in which your students will be able to give you a lot of sentences, you just need to show them the context, and they are going to come up with ideas. You give the first one, okay? Like the ones I'm showing you. Okay, so how do you think that this could have been avoided? They're going to give you more examples, but obviously they're not going to be using the verb in the right tense, or they're going to forget about the auxiliary or something like that. They're going to miss something because this is the first time they see this grammar point. Okay, so don't worry. You go to your whiteboard or to your virtual whiteboard, okay, and you write down the examples they give you, okay, but using the right formula, using the right way. If they forget the verb, the auxiliary could or would, you write it down, okay, and then you have them think about this structure. Okay, what do we have here? First, the use. Are we talking about present, past, future? When did this happen? Now, did this happen when I say, well, he could have avoided the crash? Am I talking about a real or an unreal situation? Am I talking about present or past? In that way, when you ask concept checking questions, your students are going to understand the meaning of your TL or target language. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing about the formula or the structure, you have them see one example that is correct and you ask them, okay, is the verb in simple form? Here. How is this verb? Sorry. How is this verb? Present, past, past participle. Okay. What is the auxiliary that we are using here? Let me use Okay. What is the auxiliary that we are using here? And what other auxiliary do you see in the second part? Is this the part of the condition? Is this the result? So you have them think. The idea is that you don't give everything to students. Remember, you need to involve the students so they give you the right answers. And even if their answers are not correct, they're gonna start thinking about the meaning and the structure. That's what we want. Okay, then you can write down the formula. Like I said at the beginning, there's nothing wrong with working with grammar. It's just the way that you introduce it. Now, they are interested in talking about car crashes because you can talk about it since the leading. Okay, have you ever been in a car crash? What happened? That is the point about engaging students, you see? Now, moving on to step 4. Once we have contextualized our TL, we have explained about the use and we have explained about the structure, we are going to give them real life tasks. What does it mean? That only repeating, if he had been careful, he wouldn't have crashed. Or she should go to the doctor, and she should go to the doctor and repeat after me. Okay, that's only drilling. Remember, we need to give them a real life task, meaning that we need to think about situations in which our students could be involved, where they could use the language, okay, that we are teaching. For example, if we have university students, well, we have people who are likely to break up or start relationships, things like that, which is why I have this other example for you, thinking about this kind of students and the context. Okay, how can I use a breakup to teach some grammar point? Well, maybe if I use, I already used third conditional. What about must in past? I don't know what happened, but this couple broke up. So please tell me what happened here. Okay, discuss about what happened to this couple because you're trying to guess. That is a real life task. Why? Because normally, when we don't know what happened to somebody, especially if we are gossiping about our friends, is like, did you know that she broke up with Francisco or with John or with Jeremiah? I don't know. She broke up with him. What happened? I don't know. Well, he must have started dating another girl. No, I don't think so. I think she must have been not understanding with him, things like that. Okay? The idea is to give students the opportunity to see that they can translate their new skills, their language skills, into the real life. Because this is real. Talking about people who just broke up, talking about a car crash, things like that. Okay? So that is the idea about real life tasks. Okay, and step number 5. Now that everything has gone virtual and we're teaching online, all around the world, let's make good use of the resources and the tools that have been given to us. There are a lot of resources online. If you just type online exercises with present perfect, you will have a lot of that. Okay, or online exercise about vocabulary or online games. So your students are going to find a fun way to do the same things. It's not just writing down in the notebook, I don't know, 20 sentences with present perfect, no more. They will go online, they will Google or the website that you give to them or that you tell them to use, okay, and they will be happy clicking, finding the answer, and then clicking on the button submit and finding out their own score. They can send you a screenshot of their score to use this new tool in a fun way. Okay, so teachers, if you have found this video useful for you, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe. And also remember to leave your comments here. Why? Because we need to know you. We need to know what tools you need. Do you want to know about a topic, grammar topic, or how to use certain methodology? Let us know. Visit our website. It's taniateachertraining.com. It's going to be there in the description. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.